Resuming debate, reprise de débat, the honourable member for Davenport.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I am so pleased to speak in support of Bill C-18, an act to amend the Rouge National Urban Park Act, the Parks Canada Agency Act, and the Canada National Parks Act. You know, parks are super important for the residents of my downtown Toronto riding of Davenport because we are an inner city riding and green space is at such a premium. And you know, we have a few small parks in our riding, so parks like Earls Court Park and Dufferin Grove Park, and even smaller ones like McGregor Park and McCormick Park, and pretty much every green space we turn it into a parkette because green space is so needed. So we have places like the Bartlett Parkette and the Chandler's Park North and the Beaver Lightburn Parkette. So every piece of green space that we can find, we turn it into some sort of parkette because that is how much we love our green space in downtown Toronto. So that's why the residents of Davenport are particularly excited about Rouge National Urban Park. It's a national park that's accessible to Davenport residents and indeed 7 million residents in the Toronto and GTA area, and everybody can get there by public transit. So we are so excited. Madam Speaker, the proposed legislation has been debated in this chamber and was reviewed by the House Standing Committee on Environment and Sustainable Development. The Standing Committee heard the testimony of many witnesses, studied a number of briefs, and considered several proposed amendments. The committee concluded its work by endorsing the proposed legislation with no changes. The primary objective of Bill C-18 is to ensure that Parks Canada integrates the principle of ecological integrity in its management of Rouge National Urban Park. The introduction of ecological integrity as the first priority in park management is consistent with the way Parks Canada has been managing the park since it was officially established in 2015. And Madam Speaker, I actually looked up the definition of ecological integrity because I wanted to make sure I understood what that actually meant. And what it means is that that the park is managed in a way that human activity does not impair the ecosystem of the park, that the natural ecological processes are intact and they're self-sustaining, and that the park is managed in a way where the ecosystem can continue to evolve naturally and has the capacity to renew itself. So we can enjoy this national park not only today, but for generations to come. Parks Canada has had decades of experience applying ecological integrity in a variety of protected areas, each with its own unique needs and set of circumstances. Rouge National Urban Park will be no different. Ecological integrity will be applied in respect of the park's urban setting and to support its reason for establishment, to protect and present for current and future generations the natural and cultural heritage of the park and its diverse landscapes, to promote a vibrant farming community, and to encourage Canadians to discover and connect with their national protected heritage areas, their national protected heritage areas. For more than a century, Madam Speaker, Canadians have entrusted the management of our cherished places to Parks Canada. The agency has responded by continually establishing and meeting the highest standards for conservation and restoration while balancing the delivery of internationally celebrated educational and visitor programs without compromise to the ecological integrity of the parks. Today, Parks Canada manages 46 national parks, 4 national marine conservation areas, and 171 national historic sites. These are essential components of our heritage. They are places that define us, inspire us, and reinvigorate us. The amendments proposed in Bill C-18 would support Parks Canada's plan to realize the full potential of Rouge National Urban Park. By amending the Rouge National Urban Park Act to add ecological integrity as the first priority in Parks Canada's management in Rouge National Urban Park, the government is able to not only meet its mandate commitment in working with Ontario to enhance the country's first national urban park, but is also able to protect this important ecosystem and provide greater certainty for park farmers who will be able to continue carrying out agricultural activities within the park. I'm convinced, Madam Speaker, that this is particularly important for Rouge National Urban Park because of its composition and close proximity to Canada's largest city and metropolitan area. Rouge National Urban Park is comprised of a rich assembly of natural, cultural, and agricultural landscapes with many remarkable features, including an abundance of flora and fauna. Indeed, with over 1,700 species of plants and animals, the park is one of the most biologically diverse places in Canada. Managing and protecting such incredible natural heritage when some 6 million people live with easy commuting distance represents a formidable challenge. For millennia, people have lived, hunted, fished, and farmed on the land that today forms Rouge National Urban Park. In the last century, the Rouge became increasingly important to city dwellers eager to experience nature, to hike, to canoe, to camp, and to swim. The area has long inspired naturalists and even artists like Group of Seven artist F.H. Farley, who painted scenes of the Rouge River late into his career. And Madam Speaker, working farms are a unique feature of the Rouge National Urban Park, and their presence is essential to achieving the park vision, having been farmed continuously for centuries. And in a day and age, Madam Speaker, where many people say, particularly those who live in the urban city, that we are disconnected from nature, that we need to find ways to make sure that we don't forget how food is made, the efforts that go into it. The Rouge National Urban Park allow not only the residents of Davenport, but all of those in the surrounding area to be able to find a place to see how food is made, and to help us to make sure that we continue to reconnect to nature, to the green space, and the world around us. Preserving all these elements in such a populous area requires special care. The government understands what's at stake in Rouge National Urban Park, and Parks Canada has already completed several important conservation projects to support its ecological integrity. Many more projects are either underway or in the planning stage. For instance, Parks Canada is working on restoration projects with municipalities, environmental groups, and local farmers by reintroducing threatened turtles, making it easier for wildlife to cross park roads, and enhancing the health of agricultural wetlands. Other projects aim to protect existing wildlife, control invasive species, and enhance visitor experiences. Parks Canada is also working to enhance farmland, promote a vibrant farming community, and ensure a long-term future of agriculture in the Rouge. And I want to add, Madam Speaker, that my nephew, I used to love taking him to Riverdale Farm, which is also in downtown Toronto. And I know that he would have loved to have known that a place like the Rouge National Urban Park existed, because it would have helped to inspire his creativity and his joy at learning about new bird species and animals. And he just loved green space in general. And I think that it will cause a lot of happiness for a lot of children in days to come. Placing the first priority on ecological integrity entails a broad, holistic approach. It involves acknowledging that ecosystems change continuously due to complex, interrelated processes. The landscapes that make up Rouge National Urban Park and the plants and animals that live there are in a constant state of flux. They're not the same as they were a century ago, and they will be different again in the future. Parks Canada has experience and expertise needed to fulfill the full potential of Rouge National Urban Park. Delivering a consistently excellent visitor experience is an important element of this. Research indicates that people who visit one member of Canada's family of protected areas are likely to visit others, and this magnifies the importance of excellent visitor programming at the Rouge National Urban Park. Among the many potential visitors who live nearby are large populations of newcomers to this country. Many of them are in my riding, and many of the people who come to the Rouge are visiting a nationally protected area for the very first time. Ensuring that they enjoy a rich, fulfilling experience is a powerful way to nurture and share Canada's heritage through the agency's excellent visitor programming. Learn to Camp is a prime example of this. Guided by Parks Canada staff and volunteers, program participants learn how to set up camp, roast the perfect marshmallow, and experience the many other joys of the great outdoors. And this is just one of the many high-quality visitor programs that Parks Canada delivers in Rouge National Urban Park. Visitor experiences at Canada's urban places are designed to provide visitors with meaningful experiences while discovering Canada's natural and cultural heritage. Madam Speaker, Bill C-18 also proposes to amend statutes not related to Rouge National Urban Park. One such amendment is that the government will be allowed to expand or complete existing protected heritage areas that have already attained operational status. And so
So I'm sorry, the time is up. Resuming debate, reprise de débat, the honourable member for Thornhill. Oh, sorry, questions and comments, questions et commentaires. Sorry. So the member will be able to continue answer through her questions and comments. The honourable member for Edmonton Strathcona.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would like to thank the member for her speech in support of these changes to the Rouge National Park. I myself have worked on trying to protect the North Saskatchewan River Valley for probably over 4 decades. And I absolutely give a claim to the federal government, initially under the Conservatives, to be looking towards a new kind of park in Canada, national urban parks. Most of our populations in this country are moving towards the urban areas, and they need green spaces. In fact, I often speak to my colleague, the Minister of Infrastructure, saying infrastructure should also include our green spaces. What efforts are we putting towards protection of those areas? Would the members support me in my recommendation that this shouldn't be a one-off, that in fact it's important that the federal government, this current federal government, put resources aside to establish similar parks across this country so that those living in urban areas can also enjoy nature? Thank you.
The honourable member for Davenport.
Thanks so much, Madam Speaker, and I'm sorry that I ran out of time there. Thanks so much to the honourable member for an excellent question. I'm a huge supporter of parks. I come from an inner city, and so parks are kind of our lifeline to connecting with nature and the world around us. So I'm very supportive of anything that would continue to support and enhance parks and the connection of Canadians to their green space in Canada in general. She mentioned a little bit about sort of First Nations and our parks. And one of the comments I didn't get to is that Indigenous peoples do play a strong role in our national parks and our national marine conservation areas, and in many cases cooperatively manage these protected areas. And I do think that is something that we need to continue to promote and enhance as we continue to build that strong new nation-to-nation relationship moving forward.